7.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 125. We are a little bit late. I had some adulting that I had to do tonight, so for anybody watching this in post or on YouTube, there's probably only going to be one part tonight. We won't have a part 1, part 2. Yeah. Anyways, let us go ahead and jump into a bit of a recap so we can go ahead and get things going. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves facing down Yerk, the Lord of Fetid Obliteration, a tyrant that ruled the Black-Tongue Bullywug tribe, a puppet placed there by Halaster Blackcloak, a death slod. Yerk had spun for the party a tale of his innocence, but any belief or pity the group might have had for the creature was dashed when Zetlal, the guardian Hydra of the Black-Tongue tribe, pleaded with Matashtai to save her egg, which Yerk had secreted away and used as leverage to keep the Hydra obedient. But negotiations with Yerk began to falter quickly, and the party was unable to keep up pretenses. They now knew why Zetlal obeyed the Slod, but if battle began, they could only hope to find and secure the egg, thus securing the Hydra's help, rather than its enmity. Matashtai tried to impress upon Zetlal that they were indeed here to help, but the Hydra was distraught, and it was clear that if Zetlal thought the choice was between the party or her egg, she would kill the party. And then the moment happened. The party walked up to the proverbial precipice and simply stepped over it. In an instant, Ezrah teleported himself and Ashes next to Yerk, and the battle began. Matashtai closed quickly, dashing across the water with Bones following behind, skirting the edge of the pond and climbing across the walls to reach Yerk's sledge. Yerk was a fierce combatant who could seemingly teleport at will and magically redirect attacks against him to someone else nearby. His very being rippled with chaotic energy, and his sword left necrotic rents in the air behind it. To complicate matters, Zetlal was not swayed by the party's plea for time. When Yerk ordered it, the Hydra turned on the party, her many heads lashing out against Matashtai and Ashes. But, during the course of the fight, Matashtai and Bones both noticed a crack in a nearby wall, just large enough to see through. Making a gamble, Matashtai turned ethereal and rushed through the wall, into a small chamber filled with various bits of treasure, and a large, bluish-green egg. Matashtai quickly stuffed the egg into his bag of holding and prepared to be attacked by Yerk, because the Slod seemed to very much know what Matashtai had done, and moved to teleport into the chamber after the monk. But Ezrah countered the Lord's spell, and Yerk ordered Zetlal to specifically kill the sorcerer in response.
Oh boy.
With Ashes on death's door, and the rest of the party all injured, Matashtai spoke once again into Zetlal's mind, and with Ezra's aid, was able to reach through to the Hydra. She turned on Yerk, each head ripping and tearing at the slotty form, just long enough for Bones to take the Troll Seeker's heart and run the Death Slod through. Stunned by the blow, Yerk could not defend himself as Zetlal ripped his head from his shoulders. When the Hydra spit out what remained, the Lord of Fetid Obliteration's crown bounced and rolled across the ground, unharmed. But as the battle with Yerk ended, the party heard sounds of another battle, for theirs was not the only desperate struggle to have been triggered in these moments. Back in the spawning pool, as the party began their battle against Yerk, Zartem, who had agreed with the group to leave and take some of Yerk's forces with him, instead stood facing off against the new generation. When he heard battle engaged behind him, he ordered Yerk's forces to attack the new generation. The battle unfolded sibling against sibling, but when the party's new allies fought, instead of killing their brethren, they attempted to persuade them to their side. It took some convincing, especially as Cass stubbornly continued to knock his fellows out. But the fact that Zartem ordered the attack and then immediately disappeared into the spawning pool helped to sway Yerk's forces. Eventually, the fighting stopped, and the new generation leapt into the pool after the undercover wizard. And undercover he had been. As the new generation closed on Zartem, they found him attempting to pull free the spawning stone from the bottom of the pool. As his muscles rippled and heaved, he began to shift, changing into his true form. Not that of an old man as the party had originally seen, but that of a gray slod. No longer bound by the strictures of his previous body, Zartem was able to rip the spawning stone from where it rested. But the new generation was not about to let this intruder escape with their tribe's sacred relic. They attacked together, each cutting, piercing, or biting into Zartem. The stone was knocked from the Slotty's hands, and when Zartem realized he would not be able to recover it, he turned invisible and fled. But the murky water and his non-aquatic bleeding form betrayed him. The new generation easily tracked him through the waters and cut him down. They replaced the spawning stone and rose back to the surface of the pool, where they found Ezrah and Bones awaiting, along with cheers from their now unified brethren. Yerk is dead. The spawning stone has been defended. The Blacktongue tribe is now free to determine their own destiny. And that is where we fade into the scene. So you all should
determine their own destiny, dying at the hand of the scourges.
Right? Like, no, they immediately go, "Now we march on Waterdeep." You know, like
great.
No, it is what it is.
Oh fuck. Alrighty.
I feel like that it's always sunny, like opening plays, and the gang started a genocide.
Absolutely.
At the outset, I have 2 suggestions for a group name that I have thought about.
Okay. All right. Shoot.
My first suggestion is Blitz.
Okay.
That's all we do.
Okay.
That's like all we do.
Right?
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
that
I-
is the
I
game
feel
plan.
like we floated. I feel like we floated something along that lines at one point. So
I have no idea. My second suggestion is 3 Go, abbreviated to 3G.
Because there's no 2-1, it's just 3 go.
Correct.
Nice. Oh fuck. That's
Anyway.
one that, like, every time you tell that to someone, you'll have to explain it, and then they'll just give you that look of like, oh fuck, what have we gotten ourselves into? Like, why are we associating with these people, right? Ay ay ay.
I would lean towards something more Blitz related myself. Like, I like the idea of something related to how we literally solve problems by killing things as fast as possible.
Yes, check.
Zorgling Rush. Little.
That's not bad.
I mean, it's a little too, like,
That's funny,
that's
though.
already a thing.
Okay, so before we get too terribly involved in things, everyone can take 2,000 experience for
Okay.
defeating Yerk, the Lord of Fetid Obliteration.
Nice. We level up again?
Yeah.
We
Yes, we
leveled up again?
definitely leveled up
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Aside from that, everyone can add 800 experience for the completion of the Blacktongue Bullywug tribe quest, i.e. the deciding which side wins, basically. You could have gotten that 800 experience by siding with Yerk and defeating the new generation, had you so chosen. But that is not what fucking
I'm
happened.
curious how things would have gone had we never found the new generation and revived them up on the higher level.
Would have been an entirely different situation.
Yeah.
I can't build my generation.
Not even, I mean, even just like there's so many variables here. Even just having done that, but then not finding Risk afterwards also would have changed how things played out. You know?
Oh,
Had
right,
you-
because Risk got like separated.
Yep. When they were going
Yeah.
through the Aboleth's territory, they had to fight their way out, and Risk did not make it.
Oh, yeah.
Old Biscuit Bane.
Hell yeah. Alright, anyways. So, experience has been established. You guys kind of like have an understanding of where you are at in this particular moment. It's in the kind of immediate aftermath of the battle against Yerk. Ezrah and Bones have rushed back to try to see what's going on in the spawning pool. And they have seen, the new generation rise up out victorious over Zartem, though they don't necessarily know that, right? But that can be, answered relatively quickly. And then Ashes and Matashtai are back at Yerk's Ledge, where Matashtai has handed over the egg to the Hydra. And Ashes is basically like nursing his injuries, if I remember correctly. And I believe there's a moment that happens pretty shortly where it's like a do for both Matashtai and Ashes.
No, this
Well, no,
is
that's not haste.
this
No,
is
we
magma.
explode.
Oh,
This is
right, I
magma.
forgot about that.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
if
that's a
this
good
happens,
point.
If this happens, I could very well go unconscious.
So
Oh well.
That,
it is
so
what it is.
that being said, you guys, well, before you do anything, you guys both know what is coming up. You've seen this happen. So are you gonna do anything in response to it, or are you just gonna let it happen?
I don't know what my options
So like, are you gonna
other-
drink any potions? Is Matt
Oh,
gonna
no, I'm
try
not
to
burning
heal
potions.
either of you? Like,
Yeah, just look. If you
Yeah.
go down, I'll just kick you in the head, and you'll come back up.
nice.
If
Okay,
I
you just
deliberately
go stand in
dive
the
into
corner, and
the
you're like, oh
water-
god, this is gonna fucking hurt, and you just hope you fucking make it.
Yeah, I'll sit there and I'll
Nice.
like brace for it. I'll be like, oh god.
Okay.
Isn't that assuming you don't go down, Matashtai?
I mean, it'd have to do 51 damage.
I don't think it's-
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you were lower. I
No,
thought you
no,
were
no,
lower.
he's fine. And
I
in
have a
point of
butt ton of HP.
yeah. So, I guess if that's happening, go ahead and roll the damage. I'll load the
Hey!
scene real quick.
And Ashes is dead.
Of
Ashes
course,
is
Ashes
down.
failed.
Oh, I thought Ashes rolled first. I was
No.
all excited because he
All right, so
succeeded.
here's all right. Before you roll, first of all, I have 13 HP. That's great. So I'm taking full damage, but I'm varial tiefling, so that's gonna cut the fire in half. So I can.
You effectively have
Right.
26 HP. Yeah.
Oh!
Wow! Look at how low that roll was.
Just
I
just
love
die
how
anyway.
if you
Die
didn't have
anyway.
resistance, that would have killed you
Oh,
perfectly.
hands
just
down,
enough.
hands
It would have
Just
been
enough.
just enough.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh.
All right, so you know what? I don't know that I've ever actually, because this is just damage on themselves. Is it like the molten armor like burns them up from the inside, or
Yep.
what's happening? So like the
Yeah,
the spell like goes volatile and just yeah
The
That's cool.
composition kind of loses its consistency and
yeah as the magic kind of fades, and so it just like turns back in on its host. That's pretty neat and pretty vicious. So Ashes, you do take a little bit of damage there, but you're fine. And you have Matashtai nearby.
Not fine.
You're
Matashtai
fine.
takes his damage.
Yeah,
too.
Matashtai takes half of that, so he takes
well.
the same amount
Yeah.
as Ashes does.
Both take 6 fire damage.
Very nice. Mossy does eventually join you, like, in the wall next to you, Bones. A few seconds afterwards, after you arrive. I say a few seconds, but probably, like, 15 to 20 seconds after you arrive, because he's got to take the long way through. But Ezra and Bones, as the new generation rises up out of the spawning pool, you know,
Evil.
Risk kind of like shuffles over to you, Ezra, and very like quietly explains that they just that Zartem incited Yerk's forces against them, and that they fought, and that Zartem, they don't know what Slotty are, right? So he just describes that Zartem was not who he said he was, and he changed into this creature, and he describes it briefly to you, and it's like, you've seen gray slods before, so it immediately just jumps out to the both of you, right? Like, there's no like question what Zartem actually was.
Well, and I came out as the body was floating to the surface too.
Well, I don't think the body ever actually floated to the surface,
okay.
right? Because the last little thing that happened was them calling all of the little frogs and toads to come rip and tear the body to shreds.
Gotcha.
So there is a carcass that is being feasted on within the spawning pool itself.
Oh god, I forgot I told them to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
I forgot about that one.
That ability is never going to get used again in this campaign, so we might as well make it as potent as possible here and now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
All right, well, looks like things are all good here. Gonna go on back.
so yeah.
What of the stone? Is it safe?
Good luck with you.
Risk will like mention we have replaced it, right?
You replaced it.
We put it
You
back.
created it. Okay.
It was
Yes, gotcha.
replaced.
Yeah, like he'll do the like, I thought I said it right, type scenario, right? But while he's talking to you, Ask is speaking to the group, right? And it is a not impassioned speech necessarily, right? But it is one of those like, what's done is done. This is over. We can be one tribe now again. Let's try to leave as much of this in the past as we can, and we still have to worry about surviving, right? Like he does that very big kind of like, yeah, he does very much that scenario of like, look, if we just focus on hating each other for what's happened, then we're all gonna die. Type of scenario. So he tries to make like an impassioned speech, and it is relatively well received by the people here. But I think I described this last time to all of you. There's gonna be wounds here, right? Like you all have helped, right? But there's no quick fix of siblings killing siblings in this particular situation.
In
Yes,
most
Well,
situations.
we say no quick fix. I guess technically you could just murk all of Yerk's old forces and they could respawn. But
The traitors.
But the Black Tongues, the new generation does not operate with that kind of like
They
mindset,
have morals.
right? Yeah. So
What are those?
so that is
What are
happening. That is
morals?
happening while Culp is kind of going around trying to administer aid. And as this continues, a couple of different people are sent out. A couple of different bullywugs are sent out to go let people know, right? Like what has happened. And it's partisan, right? Like it's not just the new generation's bullywugs go out, right? It's both sides. Though specifically, Ezra, if you're paying attention, you will note in conversation, because you still have tongues up, right?
I do, for an hour.
So most of these conversations are happening in Bullywug, and you hear very specifically over and over again, it is iterated, right? No one is to approach the temple. No one is to risk Torbit's wrath. The new generation will figure out how to tell the people that are stationed at the temple. That will be handled later, not now.
I forgot about that kid.
Who?
Torbit.
Oh right, he was the branch off new generation.
He
guy.
was the traitor.
I was
I
like,
never heard
I
of
was sitting
this.
there racking my brain. Who the fuck was Torbit again? Yeah.
He's
Why does he
the
sound familiar?
actual traitor.
Yeah, he's the one that would be considered a member of the new generation, but when Yerk arrived, he wholesale threw his lot in with Yerk.
Got it.
We've heard this name before? When?
Way
I
back. I
have
mean, like five or
Fucking
six.
No memory of this.
5 or 6 sessions ago when you first got to the Slither Swamp, like that real
When
big
we had the
conversation.
feast.
Yeah, during the feast where Culp and Ask were like telling you about all the different stuff, and it was like oh my god, there are 17 different faction interactions going on here, and it was a lot to
Yeah,
take
I'm
in.
pretty sure you tuned out
Yeah.
for like
Torbit,
90% of it.
I'm pretty sure like 90% of us tuned out for like Torbit was like
I've never
slid
heard
in
that
there
name
as
before
like
my entire
as
life.
like a 5-line scenario. So yeah. Anyways,
I stayed tuned and made many notes.
you made all the tunage notes. Good job. I appreciate it.
Everybody to a word counter. Paste in your notes right now.
Okay. Check
I don't
right
wanna
now.
do that.
I just did it. Check.
It's like 5 notes.
No,
Is there a way to run the words on a OneNote book?
Oh, well.
Because I think I have all of you beat.
I think you can turn it on. Like I
Did
think
not
by
actually
default
need to turn
it'll-
this into a competition.
Oh, you're talking to the wrong crowd then, Jay.
No.
All right. So Bones is returning to the group. Ezra, are you sticking around at the spawning pool for a duration, or are you just making sure everything's okay and then returning to the group? What's kind of going? Give me a feel for what's happening there. Because it looks like they are occupied and they are going to be taking their time dealing with stuff for the next little bit, at least.
So I'll lean into Risk and just let him know we're dealing with the fallouts in the chamber. When you have taken care of things, please join us and we can...
Risk kind of nods to you and he says, "Betlol," in kind of like a questioning manner.
He's good.
Dead. I'm not there.
He kind of like
stand
scrunches
and
his eyes at
debone.
you and he says, "How did you manage?"
Do you want to go through the details now, or do we wait
Fucking
until later?
ran the guy down.
He just kind of shrugs. He says, "If it's long, it can wait."
She's good. She's happy. We can talk later.
Hold on. Okay. So you make your way back to the group.
Make my way.
Make him away.
Okay, well, I heard tell that there's a treasure hoard, so I'm very interested in that.
Zetlaw kind of moves out of y'all's way ever so slightly. She is obsessed with the egg, right, and has pulled the egg into her kind of like clutches. It's this weird kind of like nesting embrace of the multiple heads, etc., etc.
You peel it away and it becomes a piece of
She
chocolate.
does not turn it into a Cadbury egg. She does seem. She does
The
seem
Kinder Egg.
very,
Not all
very.
chocolate has to have that weird super sugar cream it.
She does seem very, very like obsessed, fascinated, etc. With it, but she seems calmed now, and she just kind of like pulls a good portion of her bulk off the ledge and into the water, and is just kind of like floating there, kind of what you could assume is cooing for a Hydra, but it's not a cooing sound, but it kind of like is this
I'll,
purring, a rumbling of the
yeah.
throat.
I reach out into her mind and I just ask, "Is the egg okay?"
She kind of like so when you reach out, it's almost kind of that
PTSD.
No, it's almost kind of like a lash out, right? Like one of the heads whirls at you and gets real fucking close to you, in kind of like this like kind of like, and then she kind of like stops, and you can tell whenever Zetlal is hyper focused or anxious or angry, the heads tend to be stationary, like they're fixed objects, right? When she's more okay, they tend to kind of like bob and weave ever so slightly, right? So she does that kind of like reactionary, oh my god thing, and then there's recognition in her eyes, and then her head starts to kind of like bob and weave a little bit, and she just kind of like, it is safe, back to you, right? Like,
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I think,
So I'm sitting here having a hard time standing, breathing real heavy, and I'll reach out to Zalara and be like, "How you doing?"
Better than you.
No, I'm fine. The magma shield going off just cauterized all the wounds. I'm fine.
I mean,
A lot of blood.
you could go form and start healing yourself.
No, not this low. Not this low. I couldn't. I might, start swinging.
I kick his ankles, like, when you're like kicking someone's ankles to trip them, except I heal him.
I kick his ankles too, but I don't have that
He does.
power.
He just kicks your ankles. He's like, ow.
I walk in as they're tripping each other.
A dead leg. I'm like, oh, wait,
Yeah, it's
Nice.
that group of idiots walking down the street.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My God,
you
nice
wow.
rolls.
You had
Holy
3 of 'em.
shit.
dang.
Look, I call that the triple ankle kick.
All right, now let me see if I can take you down.
Unsurpassed.
Dat.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
and I'll like straighten up a little bit, be like, oh, okay, all right. I feel.
You
a little
hear
bit
in your
better.
mind, Ashes, you hear Zalara respond. She says, I'm happy how things turned out, honestly. But at the same time, it really would have been cool to fight a Hydra.
I mean, we did fight a Hydra. We just.
If you call that fighting,
I. So, how many perforated Hydra tooth holes do I have in my person?
how many would you like to have in your person?
Let's see. How many? Like, look, I would. Assume
I think you
that
took 2 hits from Zetlal specifically.
I would assume that I look like you just ran a little perforation tool through a pastry. Just,
Right? Yeah. So,
but hey, like we got a death slot on the list.
That's
That's
true.
all right.
that's very true.
I didn't get to stun it.
Did not get to sun it. You did not get to sun it. But Death Slot is now on the list. I don't think Death Slot has been on the list. Even in prior campaigns, I don't think we've
don't think so.
actually put Death Slot on the list.
No, you had the other devil toad thing following Rin. Abu.
Abishai, right? Those are
no,
dragons.
Abishai are dragons.
Oh, right. No, that's an actual like devil. That was contractually obligated from Asmodeus. My
There
God,
it is.
I fucking blanked for a second. Anyways, okay, so there was talk of treasure, so let's jump into that situation, shall we?
Yeah.
Within the confines of this secreted chamber
Secret.
resides a bunch of stuff.
Shit ton of loot.
Yeah, we love stuff.
A
Give
shit
us
ton
that
of loot, yeah. So there are literally bags of coinage here.
Yeah, we fucking love bags, dude.
We are quite into bags.
And then there's a bunch of like foodstuffs, right? Like funguses and but maybe not oddly, but strangely, actual rations, like rations that you would buy up topside, right? That type of thing. There's a small cache of foodstuffs here. And then there is one particular like trinket-ish item that's of note. And then the only other two things that are seemingly of value are what was on Yerk. That being the circlet that he was wearing that did not crush in the Hydra's jaws, and his greatsword.
Great sword.
So if you would like to start grabbing up the coinage, if you guys want to do a loot the room scenario, we can basically like fast forward 30 minutes.
Sure.
And you find 56 platinum pieces, 2,417 gold pieces, and 500.
2,740.
I'll give you a copy pasta and 540 silver pieces. So here is the copy pasta for the coinage.
I was really hoping if I started yelling over him, he'd stop saying it so I could catch up.
Nope. Absolutely not. 56 platinum, 2,417 gold, and 540 silver. And then the trinket that you find is this very ornate, talisman-looking thing. It looks like... honestly, it looks like a holy symbol. It looks like how you would see holy symbols up top side of Lathander or, any of the main deities worshipped within Waterdeep. But while it takes the same form and has it is made of platinum, right? So it has the same kind of sheen as many of them would. It is decidedly not of something that you would consider to be a normal thing worshipped within Waterdeep, because it is it's a flying snake with bared fangs coiled up and around itself inside of an Ouroboros, basically.
Does it look similar to iconography we've seen around the swamp?
It seems it looks like a combination of iconography that you have seen around the swamp from the Yuan. Absolutely. But it does look valuable.
Okay. Yuan T. Holy symbol thing.
And then, like I said, there is the circlet from Yerk and the greatsword from Yerk. I'm assuming we're doing...
I got those written down.
Ezra would have been identified.
Immediately identified? Yeah, if you guys are going to take a little 30-minute scenario while the new generation resolves their stuff and you're looting the room type situation. I
got more stuff if you're identifying stuff. Just
oh.
FYI.
How much more stuff you got?
3 things that I think probably are, but I don't really know.
Okay. Y'all want to put them on the list? Let's just knock them out real quick. See what's what.
Yes. So I have this noted as crystal rod thing.
Take a short rest here then, because I don't really.
You guys want to coincide this with a short rest?
Well, I guess.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We do that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're also short resting. So, sounds good.
All right, so I also have what I noted as crystal rod thing and ring of Moonstone Rings. And also I have an ornate owl statue. I don't remember where I got that, so I put it on the list.
It sounds like when you were doing your little.
I also have a cat skull that I pulled out of the wall.
Huh?
And I have no idea if it's magical or not, but it seems suspicious it was put in the wall.
Do me a favor, anything that you guys want checked, put it in the Roll20 chat. So I have a quick way to look at it. Okay?
I ain't got shit.
That's the whole list that I have available to me.
Skull and
Ring
Wall.
of Moonstone Rings.
I think I probably got it from the stone basilisk's belly, but I don't really remember.
One
If I know it,
37.
Wonder if I wrote it down. I might have written down where I got it.
1 3.
I did not.
Is
know
that
what, I
when you
haven't
were
done in
on
a
your
while?
little journey with Mossy?
Oh. Yeah, my
I'm
shenanigan.
gonna-
Yeah.
While we're short resting, I'm actually going to step out here and I'm going to reach in and pull out Wolf. I haven't brought him out in a while and let him get some stretching, some leg
He
stretching.
comes up. Oh god, it's been so long.
Didn't we like get him killed scouting like not that long ago?
No,
he
no.
can't
The last
die
time you
that
guys
way.
pulled him out was just like a leisure activity while you were in Willowwood.
Yeah.
Matashtai let him just like live it up in the forest for a little while, you know. And he comes out. Roll me that beautiful bean footage. I need a.
Well, he's like a medium-sized guy. Maybe a badger? I think it's
comes-
badger.
I think this might be the first time you've seen this. He hits the ground. The little fur ball grows into this big hunched back. Snout swoops out, huge tusks coming out.
Oh, really?
It
Yeah,
turns,
boar!
he turns into a boar, and he just stands there for a few minutes, and he's just like, "Put me back! Put me back!"
Okay. I put him back.
Is that how that works? I thought we had to kill him.
I think we explored this a little while, but or a little bit, but I think we determined eventually that it just made more sense for you to be able to go, because like remember there was that one time when you guys did
an elk, and
the
he's trapped
elk
in the cave.
in the small enclosed space.
I thought we killed
Right?
it.
I don't think you killed it. I think Matashtai just like I think actually what happened is Matashtai pulled another and threw it out instead.
Yeah, I think I just reached in and pulled
Yeah.
it, summoned again.
But I think with the character, the way that item works right now, I think we're safe to just be like, yeah, you cancel it. So he
Okay, I
doesn't.
reach in and I pull out another one.
Okay.
Oh, God, I do it again!
Okay.
Oh,
So
I swear to God, if it was another 4.
he eventually comes out as a panther. Lands and looks around and kind of has the snooty cat look on his face, right? But goes, "This form is significantly better than most of the others. Perhaps not my favorite, but it suffices."
Sorry about
And then
that.
he turns around, like, does a little, like, turn, and then stops and sees the Hydra. And then he just looks at you and goes, "I missed something, didn't I?"
Yeah, she's a friend. Don't hold it against me. I didn't bring you in on this one. Nothing against you, but I think she's hitting a little above your weight class.
Thanks.
I'm
I'm glad you didn't
Yeah,
feed me to one of her heads.
yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you out. Let you stretch the legs a bit if you wanted. If you don't,
You see,
I can send
the
back. It's
tail just
okay.
kind of like flicking back and forth as like a swarm of midges has started to like cluster
Oh,
over
no.
the back of Wolf's, haunches. It is
Sorry.
you're like you've brought this mammal into this hot, humid, insect-filled environment, and they are just going to town.
Okay, well, you tell me if it's too much. I send you back.
I think I will nap for now. And it kind of like slinks over into the corner and just lays down. Like, just
We,
keeping an eye on things.
We gotta find a way to bring you out in a form you actually like being in better.
Welcome to my curse.
pretty rough. But noted. So, boar? Definitely don't want to be a boar. Got it.
Who would want to be a boar?
Yeah, I feel like a boar probably wants to be a boar.
I disagree with you.
All right. Well, next boar we find, we'll ask him, and we'll settle this then.
Fair enough. Okay. Moving on. We got a couple of different things. I'm corroborating information. So, quick notes: the ornate owl statue is not magical.
Okay. I'll keep it on my list for the selling.
The Moonstone Ring, the Ring of Moonstone Rings, is not magical.
What's the point of it?
It's a ring of Moonstone Rings.
What the fuck do you do with Ring of Rings? That's
okay.
That's the weirdest
a metal
not magical
ring that
thing.
has a bunch of rings on it.
For clarity,
That's the weirdest
For
not
clarity,
magical thing I ever heard in my life.
It's like a key ring with rings on it.
Well, okay, how big are the rings on it?
Finger size.
Finger size? Okay.
Yeah. They're like hand rings, finger rings. Yeah.
Do they
Would it
look
make
like
like
they're
a cool bracelet?
I mean, you could wear it as a strange bracelet. It might not fit very well, but
I'm not
yeah.
into it. I was initially thinking if they were big, I was gonna do like the Iron Fist monk
Sure.
thing, and just like have the iron rings on my hands, and
It does look somewhat valuable.
Got
Do
it.
the rings look like they're in good quality?
Yeah, I mean they are Moonstone Rings. Moonstone is a precious material, reminiscent of kind of pearlescent, I believe. Is what
How
it
many
is.
rings?
There are 6 on there.
It's a Ring of Rings.
Sorry, there are not 6. There are 5.
Okay, what about my crystal rod thing?
Yep, looking. Sorry, in a momento.
Not magic. Not magic.
It's like a Murray thing where like you are not the father or whoever that was, and it's like
You are not magical.
you are not magical.
Maori.
You are not magical.
He's kind of a piece of shit.
I'm having trouble finding that particular item. Do you have any indication of where you got it? Did I tell you anything there?
It was next to it's next to the Ring of Rings in my list, so probably Basilisk. I don't know. The Basilisk stomach from me and Mossy's.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's magical. Absolutely.
Oh, we
Okay.
did it. We did it. Everybody,
so-
we did it.
You are magical.
Yeah.
You are the magical.
We got it. We got him. Everybody, we got him.
He's dead.
Okay. The crystal rod thing is indeed, it's like a little crystalline rod. It has actually like this little hairline fracture up the side of it. It is a wand of paralysis.
Wand of paralysis. Okay.
Paralysis.
Paralysis. Yeah. What'd that do?
It's a wand that requires attunement by a spellcaster. It has 7 charges, and as an action, you can use a charge to try to paralyze something.
Damn, that's sick.
Okay. The cat skull in the wall hole is magical faintly. It's a charmed object. It's not a magic object. It's like a talisman, right? Like it's almost akin to like a holy symbol or an arcane symbol or something like that. It's not actually magic in and of itself, but it has been used to channel magic or been around a lot of magic in the past. That type of situation.
It's warlocky.
Yeah, it's something like it is not a magic item in and of itself, but it is kind of adjacent. So there's no enchantment upon it. The greatsword is a greatsword +1 that has a necrotic enchantment on it, so it deals an additional 1d6 necrotic damage with every hit.
Like, I want to see if Mossy can hold it.
Mossy cannot hold it. Mossy has talons like this. He has no thumbs.
What if we wrap it around his arm?
I mean, sure. Good luck.
All right, get it taped on there. All right, now Mossy, spin.
Yeah, what if we get
All right.
3 of them?
Mossy, go underground. It just comes right off.
Yeah, and then he's like a little shark.
No. just with this blade sticking up in the air.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually how he fights now. He stays underground and just slices with the blade above.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Super vetoed. And then the magic circlet.
Why are you making that face? Did he freeze? No, he didn't freeze.
If the magic circlet isn't magic, I quit.
Jacob, do you want to put the Wand of Paralysis in your inventory? No one else can possibly use it no matter what.
I guess.
I mean, I'll keep it if you want. I just, wanted to give you the option.
I have to debate my attunements.
Alright, I'll keep it then.
What's the skull? Is the skull magical?
He said
We already did the
vaguely.
skull. We're on the
Yes, the
circle.
skull was charmed.
The skull is magic adjacent, but it's not actually magical itself. No. The magic circlet is a headband of intellect.
Oh, let's give that to Mossy too.
Smart rock.
Smart rock. Super smart rock.
Dude, he'd be so smart he could
Definitely.
learn to use a greatsword.
What is your int, Jake?
Mossy?
Is your int already like 18?
It's 16.
Okay. So I think Headband of Intellect takes it up to 19, if I remember right.
Yeah, it sets your intelligence to 19.
I'll trade you for the Amulet of Constitution.
I don't really want to be smart.
I think
Hold on.
I think
I might
honestly
wanna be
there is
smart.
only one person in this group that has a vested interest in high intelligence.
Mossy, yeah.
He's talked about it in the
I
past.
think I might want to be smart.
But to be smart, you
is
gotta not be
attunement.
a chargy boy.
It is also attunement, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out which things specifically roll off
Yeet
intelligence.
I would yeet that fucking Minotaur helmet into a magma pit for 19 intelligence if I was Jay.
Well, I mean,
Give it to Mossy.
he does need to check and make sure that he's actually getting. If he's only got like 2 things that he's rolling off of them, then it's kind of whatever. But having the added intelligence to boost his DC could give him access. Like he could now start using things that he's avoided in the past potentially.
So when you get the headband, I require you to have a posh British accent and speak intelligently for the rest of the campaign.
Cheerio, chaps. How are you doing this fine afternoon?
No, practice that and come back later.
Zalara will immediately just be like, I quit. Put me in the nearest stone you find.
Oh, Mossy's a stone. He'll take your.
Then he's wielding a great sword and Zalara.
And a moon sword.
Moonblade
Yeah.
and great sword.
He's got three arms. He's good to go.
He's a blender. Let's fucking do this. Zorro time.
Well, here, let's use intelligence modifier for some of your class
shit.
features. However, you deem it available. Blah.
I think that's all you guys have as far as like identifiable stuff right now. So
Okay.
So it is Hunter's Bane, the save DC for my Hippocratic bullshit, and that actually might be it.
Isn't it? It's also like the what is it, the you do damage when I get hit type situation.
brand of castigation, is that it?
Don't you do more damage based on your int?
Brand of castigation. It's weird. I'm on the page. I just hit Control F and typed in intelligence.
And what
Maybe.
does it do for you, Jake?
Makes me smarter.
Yeah, makes him smarter. Like makes
Okay,
makes him
well-
a smart boy and a charismatic boy.
All right. Well, I think I'm leaning more towards Jay then. I just wanted to check and see if it's like actively good for you for.
I mean, it is actively good for me. It makes me smarter.
It makes him smart and it gives him better skill checks on the
Brand of
smart things.
castigation is damage equal to your intelligence modifier.
Yep.
There you go.
So that would be
Oh.
a 4. They would take 4 damage every time.
That actually makes that worth immediately using on something.
I mean,
Yet another bonus action.
yay!
Well, no, I think Brand of Castigation is a free action. It's not even a free action. It doesn't have an action.
There's no action economy attached
Yeah.
to it.
It's just
Oh, Dark Augmentation gives you a bonus to your saving throw equal to your intelligence modifier.
apparently there's a lot of shit you get for intelligence. You should probably
It's
be
almost
looking
like
into
that's
the
supposed to be your
intelligence thing.
secondary stat.
It's almost like
when
that.
I made this character,
It wasn't like that.
intelligence
Yeah.
was not involved with the build whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we
There was
went
an
through
update
that.
to
Yeah.
Blood Hunter, like
Yeah, we
last
went through that when
year.
that whole update happened. Like, we went through the whole, like, do we want to change your stats? Like, blah, 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 blah. Is what it is. Anyways, cool. As this is all happening, right? Like, you guys are filling your pockets with coinage. Ezra is identifying
We
items.
probably should make sure they don't want this money.
You're
Nope,
you're
this is ours.
resting. There is a point.
Back Ezra up. We should probably check and see if they need this money.
You shut your mouth.
Do I get a rest out of this? I didn't roll. any hit
Yeah,
dice.
you can get a
Okay.
rest out of it. You're only identifying a couple of objects, and like, I mean, you guys are gonna be here more than the 30 minutes already, so it's fine.
Is someone? Did we do the UNT holy symbol thing?
It is not magical.
Not magic. Okay.
It is a holy symbol. It is no more magical than a holy symbol or an arcane symbol or anything like that.
Okay. Did someone put the magic circlet greatsword +1 with necrotic enchantment and UNT holy symbol thing on their list?
We did not.
I have put nothing on my list at this point.
Yeah.
Man, I wish monks could use heavy weapons.
I can say monk can, but well, not. Oh no, sorry, no, they can't. You're
I
right.
have it.
No,
No.
technically, even they can't if it has
Yeah,
that heavy property.
yeah, you're right. Does someone
sad.
wish to put these 3 things on their list?
I mean, I will do it. I have the strength to do so. I'm
All right,
sure
I
they're not gonna-
appreciate your sacrifice.
I mean, I can take them too. It was more.
I think we should have Ezra carry the greatsword on his back just to look intimidating. So, like, if you ever need to roll an intimidation check, you just
God.
reach for the greatsword.
Stop it.
It would also give us a cool handle to pull you out of danger with.
Ooh, cool handle. Yeah. we actually make sure it's super secured to your robes.
All right.
It's
I'm
actually
sorry,
on a
Zach.
harness back there, like
Yeah.
it's harnessed
So we can just
around
grab
his
him.
chest,
You're
and it's
afraid
glued
someone
into
would
the
else.
scabbard. You can't actually pull it out. You just grab
You're
it and
afraid
you
someone
yoink
would
him.
And like, if shit
Circle
gets
of
bad,
intelligence.
Ashes can walk up and wield Ezra.
Yeah.
No.
Lightning
Okay.
Greatsword of Necrotic. And then
Okay.
also the Yuan-Ti Holy Symbol.
You want to holy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So as you guys are going through this, you are visited
Oh, hello there.
by individuals from the Bullywug tribe in small groups or by individuals themselves. Cass, Risk, Izu, and Ask come. Culp actually shows up after about 30 minutes or so to check on Zetlal. And there's a little bit of this reunion kind of happens between the new generation and the Hydra. And once the new generation finds out, right, that Zetlal, the whole thing, right, is over this egg, it's like, it's like the fawning circle, right? Like, everything is water under the bridge. Everything is, it's not even forgiven, it's forgotten in a heartbeat, right? And this circle of bullywugs is just like, oh crap, what are we gonna do with a baby Hydra? You know, like they're just
Great.
like combination of like, oh, we're so excited, oh god, we're terrified. You know, this combination of like, so Zetlal, rather than there being this kind of like momentary potential like, hey, Guardian Hydra, you stabbed us in the back and sold us down the river type situation, it's just like nothing ever happened, right? It's like they see this egg and they go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then they just move on, right? Like, so they are around and about while you all are finishing up your rest. And then eventually they do call out to you to see if you're okay. And Cass and Ask swim over to retrieve Yerk's body, because they tell you they're gonna string up Yerk's body and what's left of Zartan. And
Sounds good. Yeah.
Fair.
Maybe wait until we deal with Torbit. Maybe.
you say that, and the almost jovial atmosphere that had been in place immediately goes dour, right? And there is a moment, right, where like you see he tries, where he thinks better of it, but then he just can't stop himself. And Cass says in response, he says, he'll be lucky if he doesn't find himself next to them.
I get that, but that might be a warning for him to get out of Dodge rather
won't-
than us.
He won't make it far enough for this.
Oh, okay.
And like he says that, and Ask kind of like, it gives them this chiding look, right? And Ask says, there will need to be a lot done to forgive what Torbit has done.
I mean, we need to head over there anyway, right?
Yeah, we learned a lot. When is Culp gonna?
Culp's here. Like he's talking to Zetlal, so he's within earshot of the discussion if you need to bring him into the discussion.
We went to the place of memories, and we have done some other exploring, and we've learned a lot. If you need to reinforce or do any other work before we start talking next steps, that's understandable, but there's a lot of information.
We are here. Speak your information.
The Sethians, Frail Olo, whatever they did to Hexakali, that was through the temple. Don't know if you know that or not, but their ritual, the magics they used are stored within that location. That has useful intel that we need to look at.
Kulpa and Izu kind of step forward, right? And Izu says, "We have seen through their eyes." And she kind of like gestures towards just herself and Culp, right? Not the rest of them. And she says, "We have experienced the past as you have.
Yeah.
The wrongfulness of it. You think the way to right it lies within the temple?"
That is the information we were led to believe.
From where?
Ezra kind of sheepishly looks at Matashtai, who is not at his computer.
Fair enough. I would sheepishly look at Matashtai, not at his computer as well.
We were led to believe it by Matashtai? I really honestly don't remember where we found that out.
It was from a ghost of a Sethian.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
While you were getting your poison out of that one statue?
Oh, yeah, it was a neat statue.
I really expected him to like walk back into frame like 4 seconds after you said something.
Hold on, 1 second. Looking at my notes.
Oh shit!
All right. So we learned it from
You
Ghost.
dad.
It was a ghost. He said it was a ghost.
This is more of a whether or not you want this information shared, more than a I don't know.
Not save it. Oh, Yowastel. Yostel? I don't know.
Yoastel.
Yowastel. That one.
So
Okay. I mean, I'm fine to tell them about it. Like, these guys are our allies. Like, I'm not trying to keep stuff from them.
While we were exploring, we found ruins to the south of the temple as we made our way to the memory location. And we were met with a specter. One that has not passed.
you see Culp's kind of throat like bulge out, and he kind of has this distasteful look on his face. And Izu just kind of like nods, and she says, "Fine. There is a place within the temple that has not been breached. A place that I have been told no one knows how to enter. Perhaps your answers lie there."
It is possible.
You know what it is you seek.
Thing?
If we did, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
It is at that point in time, right, that there's some grumbling, and again, Cass kind of like speaks up and he says, "None of this decides what we should do about Torbit."
Tell him?
There's an air there,
I don't
right?
know the
Like
guy.
there's a moment, right? Like that
Y'all
just
have
kind of like
laws?
hangs in the. Ask responds to you. We have rules.
All right.
We need no
What are
laws.
rules? Work fine. Just another word for laws, all right? Did he break your rules?
He hurt the tribe.
What is the punishment for breaking the rules?
Depends on how much you hurt the tribe.
Well, sounds like maybe we should get a hold of Torbit, see what he did, unless you know that already.
Ask looks at Culp, and Culp, like he suddenly looks really, really old. Like he slumps.
He's aged,
Right,
with
well, he just he is obviously older than any of the bullywugs that you have seen, right? Like he just kind of hangs. He's all skin and bones, right? But like he suddenly looks like there's this weight that gets set upon him, right? And almost as kind of like a pronouncement, Culp says, "I do not think Yerk would have been able to do what he has done if it were not for Torbit."
Oof.
I do not
Okay.
think that Torbit will feel disgrace for what he has done.
One quick thing. We learned Yerk was a deceiver. He found what mattered most to Zetlal and used it to his advantage. What's to say that there wasn't some nerve of Torbit's that was exposed and
Culp looks at you with really sad eyes and he says, "There was. He gave Torbit power."
I just don't want to go in lightning bolts blazing and finding out that, he was deceived. Bless you.
There's this kind of there's this really fucking weird emotional air with the new generation, right? And they kind of they keep looking back and forth at each other, and Risk kind of steps forward and he looks across at you, and in his more broken common dialect, he says, "We are having trouble. He was one of us. We feel like we should fix things. But none of us believes there is a fix. No one here thinks that if we step into the temple, there will be anything but blood. So everyone is afraid to say, 'Will you hide our shame from us?'
Yeah, just stay here. I'll
I
take
feel
care
like
of it.
I feel like I missed a step. Well, I think we all agree, like Bones said, that we'll help you. But I personally don't want to speak for everybody else, but I personally would like to know what exactly you want done with Torbit when we get in there. Do you
If he
want
can
us
be
to bring
reasoned
him
with,
back out?
if he can be reasoned with, then reason with. If he can be overpowered, saved, then do so. And as he's saying this, right, like he's not saying this just straight at you, full confidence. He's saying it and turning his head and looking at the rest of the members while he's saying it, kind of like stuttering along the way, right? In this broken kind of dialogue. And each step of the way, there's kind of like these nods of a scene, right? Like of this, yeah, let's do that kind of scenario. And then he ends. If he cannot be reasoned with, if he cannot be overpowered.
Understood. Now, there's others in there aside from Torbit.
We do not think that is the case. We will travel with you to the temple itself, where there will be guardians. But only Yerk's most trusted were allowed within the temple itself.
All right.
Why?
Perhaps he feared that there were things that you seek, objects of power within, that could be used against him.
You know what they say, knowledge is power.
Ezra says as he eyes the headband covetously.
Only slightly. Couple of side glances.
Oh, fuck. He's got to repent. Maybe. So, yeah, it is an awkward situation, right? Like none of the members of the new generation, barring Cass, right? Like Cass is like, go fucking string him up, right? Like that's kind of like his mentality. But everyone else is like, yeah, everything about this sucks, and the general mood is, if you all don't want to deal with it, they will do what needs to be doing, right? Like they will take matters into their own hands. They will do as they must, right? And they'll do so as a tribe. But you are a way for them to not have to face that ugly side of things, right? Like the shame for their own failures, right? Both in not being strong enough to resist what was done to them, and also like not, letting Torbit become what he became. So,
Ezra steps up. No, Matt steps up, and kind of holds out his hand and says, "We're friends, aren't we? We'll help you."
Risk takes your hand and he says, "Yes." And there's a weird air, right? Like there's a almost kind of like a clearing of the air, right? Like the it's still dour, but it's not. There's like a couple of them turn away, and there's more conversation with Zetlal about the egg and yada yada yada, etc. etc. Like the moment, the doom and gloom moment has passed, right? So
To be clear, anyone with what are your expectations here? Torbit has clearly chosen his sides, and we will deal with it as decided. what of the rest of your brothers and sisters?
The expectation, and it's Ask that speaks at this point. The expectation is that by the end of this day, the Black-Tongue tribe is whole once. No factions, no different sides. One tribe.
If the pieces are healthy, they can stay. But if they're unhealthy, we cut them away.
It just nods at you.
Okay. Well, now is as good of a time as any.
Is it? Is now the time?
Fine. Yeah, I'm good for it.
I'm pretty good, so.
I mean, you guys
Hey, y'all
did
ever
short
have
rest.
any like? Y'all ever have any other hydras? You got any like hydra bones around here?
This kind of like there. Some of them are. Risk is
This is like an
not.
aside.
Risk is not surprised by this at all in any way. Like Risk has kind of grown
Yeah, no, he's
used
seen-
to
he's seen you.
in the lost levels, right? With the Skull Takers, but the rest of the new generation and Culp not so much, right? He's kind of old. He's kind of unfazed, but the rest of the new generation is kind of like taken aback. They're kind of like, what, right? Like.
Why? They got bone stuff. They love bone stuff. I love bone
Right,
stuff.
but like you're talking about like their sacred guardian, right? You know, like
I mean,
as
you know, if it
as
died,
if
it
they're
died.
just a dime a dozen, right? Like they just come and go. You find them left and right type situation. So there's kind of like this choked, like Isu's just like, no, we don't, no.
All right, well, fair enough.
Looks at you strangely, like looks at you like a little suspiciously now, while like looking at Zetlal, and you kind of get the feeling like there may be positioning in the future where like one of the new generation is almost always kind of trying to like interpose themselves between Bones and the Hydra, right?
Yes, because I can take the hydra one-on-one.
Well, maybe you go after the egg. Who fucking knows, right? Like,
Yeah, let me cut your bone out. You can have your egg back.
they don't know. Like,
Nice.
Okay, here, negotiation time. Now the Hydra, I don't remember, but I feel like in most lore they regenerate. Maybe
Oh,
the head will
cut
come
off
back,
the head. It'll get 2 more heads, and I get a bunch of bones.
right?
I believe in
Whoa.
Hydra civilization. This is known as a dick move.
this is known as a dick move.
Not if they consent. No,
Hey, can I just cut off one of your?
I'm not willing to ask that. I imagine that's extremely painful.
I imagine that might get a hard no. Okay, so
All right, well, let's go to the temple.
yeah,
Let's go-
it
let's
sounds like
go
you guys
kill
have
another
a game
guy.
plan. So let's not kick rocks around on this. You all you leave the chamber, come out into the spawning pool area. The new generation comes with you. There's a bit of discussion that goes back and forth. Runners that are sent. There's a lot of activity going on, right? But they don't need to like pull together a posse or anything like that. They do point out 2 members of Yerk's former part of the tribe, right? Yerk's lackeys. And they explain the situation to them, and those individuals nod and make their way, with the rest of the new generation, and they lead you to the temple, basically. So, we're going to do some teleporting around.
I still feel really good about how we handled the Zartum situation.
Who's sort of? Why? Didn't we just kill him?
We killed him, but like we kept like almost all of the bullywugs in that battle alive.
Yeah, okay.
Take shit away from y'all real quick. Not that it matters, but if I don't remember to do it now, I will not remember to do it later. So there's that. Mossy disappears, but he is nearby. But y'all have gone through water, so he is not interested in participating.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Whoa, whoa. So, you are led out of the south section of the spawning chamber, of the spawning pool, right? And the two members of Yerk's former half of the tribe lead out. And they, as you approach the temple, they kind of call out and you hear responses. And a conversation begins amongst the members of the temple. I'm going to describe some stuff to you guys as this kind of happens. And we're going to flip over to new music. Okay, so you find yourself stepping back into this immense cavern. The roof up above you, beyond your visual range, the vast expanse only detailed by the hollow noises that echo around you. There's a massive structure here that rises up from the swamp. Flickering lights frame the building, lighting the surrounding winged serpent statues. As you approach the front, right? This conversation between the two factions unfolds, and you are privy to basically the undoing, the final nails in the coffin of Yerk's faction, right? It is explained to these individuals that Yerk was not who he said he was, and has been slain. That the new generation has bested Zartem, Yerk's lieutenant, in battle, and he was not who he said he was. And that the tribes will once more be one. And that if anyone wishes it, they may leave, right? There is very little in the way of debate or dissent or anything like that. You all arrive, and it's a few minutes before the remainder of the tribe steps forward and clasps hands with the members of the new generation and is welcomed back into the fold. There is not a single bullywug that decides to slip away into the darkness. They are presented an opportunity to return back to what life was prior to the year ago when the tribe was first brought here. And they take it. So, they kind of move out of your way. They give you free access to the temple itself. And it is at this point, right, that the new generation kind of turns to you. And again, Risk being the most familiar, just speaks to you and he says, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
He gestures towards the temple and he says, "They have confirmed. Corbett lies within. Seek what it is you need. And while you do so, please answer our need as well."
I guess I mean, obviously I'll have to come around to see this, but is the temple like watery or not?
So yeah, this is a great question. I'm just gonna move all of you into the front of the temple here. I'll kind of describe what you are seeing. So, you are at the entrance to this structure. This whole space is silhouetted by torches bracketed to the pillars here, around where the bullywugs were standing guard. Before you lies a narthex, which was a fun word for me to look up, but now I've forgotten it.
I was going to say, what the fuck is that?
A narthex is an antechamber, porch, or distinct area at the western entrance of some early Christian churches. So it's an antechamber
west,
or a
huh?
porch. I don't know. I did not designate this the narthex. The module designated this the narthex. So maybe it is western. But at this entrance, at this antechamber, you see that there are tall statues, or there is a tall statue right in the center of it, right, of a large winged serpent, something you guys have seen before in the previous ruins, right? Mouth open in a hiss, standing kind of like in this aggressive stance. And it is flanked by two partially submerged stone ramps. And as you're looking at it, you can see the whole temple has kind of like tilted down to where the entirety of this level looks to be flooded, like it's sunk down into the mud and silt of the swamp itself, right? So the statue has water kind of like up around its base, and these ramps are almost completely submerged. Normally, like if this temple was sitting the way it's supposed to, you would go up the ramps and onto the first floor of the temple. As it is, everything is sunk down to where there's like a foot of water through the temple itself.
Man. We all have trench foot at this point, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Stinky, stinky, disgusting feet. Definitely. And I mean that's it. You guys have been unleashed to do as thou will. What would you like to do? How do you want to go?
I kind
about
of look
this?
at the guys and I say, maybe not to kill unless we need to at the start. But if it gets sketch, do what you gotta do, alright?
Yeah, all right.
I mean, that's the normal procedure, right? Go in there with the intent not to kill and then kill, right?
I kind of look at Ash as like,
Anyway, here we
so
go.
it's funny. No, it's funny. It's funny. Two other conversations happen in that exact moment, right? In Matashtai's head, Valina says, well, he's not wrong, is he? And in Ash's head, Zalara says, well, you're not wrong, are you?
all right.
Spectral swords are in sync.
Now, Mass is just an actual ghost.
Yeah, this is just an actual alien ghost.
He's
yeah.
not a ghost.
He's not a ghost.
Sorry.
He's not an alien. What is he?
Alien Dream Eater.
I thought it was a
Correct.
she. It's a he?
She is an
Is
alien
she?
Dream Eater.
Okay, so like a ghost then.
Yeah, I'll take it. He's the one who's denying it.
An
The
alien ghost?
easiest way to describe it is a being on another plane. So, like, if you want to use the ethereal plane, another plane connected to my material plane form. We are
Oh,
one
okay.
and the same, but in separate planes.
Sure. Like a ghost.
It's not at all like a ghost.
I don't know. I think that's a good explanation for ghosts. They just like live on the ethereal plane, and you just see like glimmers of them.
Whatever, I
Fine,
turn
okay.
invisible.
Okay, Matt's a ghost. Whatever, let's go.
I like it. All right, Bones goes invisible, knowing that while he is invisible, he is still moving through the water and leaving puddles
Yeah, I'm
like
letting
ripples
somebody
in his
else.
wake.
I'm letting somebody else go
Okay,
first.
gotcha.
So, it
So
looks like I'm
yeah,
not
let's talk about
fucking
marching
stupid.
order. What's happening? Like how are you guys moving into this place?
I'll move up with Ashes, so like I'll be
Okay.
in step with him.
I'll be second.
Ezra behind.
Always.
Move you guys forward like that. So you move around the statue, the winged serpent guarding the entrance to this Yuan-Ti temple. You move inside. There are pillars here, carved into slithering serpentine forms. There are ophidian eyes covering everything. And as you step forward, you can
What
begin.
are Ophidian eyes?
Serpentine. Ophidian is
Oh,
just
okay.
a different word for serpent.
I learned something today.
And then as you kind of approach, right, you see that the temple is covered, right? The floor of the temple is covered by murky water. The chamber that you're stepping into it's a nave, right? It's a temple nave. It's got this high vaulted ceiling about 30 feet up. And there is a fresco on the ceiling that's mostly crumbled away from time, but the portions that remain suggest serpentine images that are almost terrifying in their comprehension, right? The strangest one that you see being what looks like a hydra, but with just a snake's body and snake heads, right?
It's creepy.
There are, as you step forward, you can see 4 statues within the nave of this temple. All of them are statues similar to the one you saw at the entrance, winged serpents. 2 of them, these 2 in the back corner, are on the same level as the floor and partially submerged by water, about like a foot or 2 of water, right? The other 2 are up on a raised platform above the water line in front of you. And beyond those 2 statues is a doorway that is marked by it looks like that holy symbol that you found, basically, right? Like the imagery of a winged serpent, right? And around that winged serpent is an Ouroboros. Okay.
Okay. Well, we got that thing.
Like a sweet key.
I don't know. Is it even locked? We don't know.
Oops.
Where's this bro supposed to
As we
be?
approach, right?
I don't see him. I don't see any signs of him.
I kind of yell out. I'm like, "Hello? Anyone in here? Anyone at all?" Like we gotta go further.
All right, let's go further. I keep an eye out though.
I specifically don't keep an eye. No.
Specifically,
I
don't keep an
Cover
eye.
my eyes.
Matt
I'm being
closes one eye.
attacked by mosquitoes as we're walking forward.
And if
Strangely, no insects within this temple at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the midges have followed you throughout the majority of the swamp. There are no insects inside this place.
There was something
Damn it.
about the temple. Okay, hold up.
It's
Find
almost
the
like
rituals.
there's a frog living in here eating them.
Okay, hold on. We got to do something in the temple that I forgot about, that we didn't really talk about. We have to find the rituals of binding in the central temple.
Well, shall we take care of the person who's trying to kill us first? Potentially.
Yeah, I'm just saying, keep an eye out as we go.
What do rituals of binding look like?
We
I
don't
don't
know. We
know.
just know it's important.
All right. I'd
Probably
like to keep
like
an eye
a
out.
Shut
ring
up,
with
Jeremy.
a bunch of other rings on it.
Oh, I have that.
Look, I was just reading my
got
very
moonstones.
minuscule notes. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay, well, then let's just go and try and find the guy.
All right, we continue looking for the guy.
I mean, okay. So you all are entering into the nave of this temple. What do you do? Like, let's break it down. Who's doing what? What's happening?
Well, if
We're
he doesn't
looking for the
answer,
guy.
I'll use thaumaturgy to increase the volume of my voice a little bit so he could hear, just in case he wasn't. And I'll say, Torbit!
Okay.
Oh, great.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
All right, so we're moving straight to killing.
There does not seem to be a response.
I kind of just do a circuit of the room. Just looking for anything out of place, any writing, stuff that like stands out. Maybe secret doors.
Okay.
Dude, the walls are pretty
if-
well
if I-
defined.
Look, I'm just gonna say, well, okay, sorry. I should clarify. Secret hatches, because I feel like this thing goes down.
Ooh.
That's
okay.
that's solid thinking.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
got
gonna keep an eye out
space
for
on
any.
this map to move you guys to an underground section.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for any like
you?
hidden hatches.
Oh yeah.
Neat.
I'm gonna just do a circuit of the room, just a circuit in.
Okay.
I don't know how far you want me to move. I start down the right. I'm moving away.
You're fine. You're looking for stuff. What is everyone else doing? Ashes has kind of like proclaimed loudly, right? Like trying to call out. I mean, you're free to do something else as well, right?
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what each person is trying to accomplish in these moments.
I think I would like to trail Ezra and whatever he's doing to both preserve my stealthiness and also keep my head on a swivel.
Okay.
For attempts to instantly kill him.
So I'm gonna play around with the idea that you're basically like following in Ezra's wake, right? Literally in his wake of the water, right? To try to make sure that your invisibility is not obvious to someone, right? So roll me a stealth with advantage.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, cool. Ashes, Ezra, we know what Matashtai is doing. What are you two doing? You don't have to be doing anything necessarily. You can just be kind of like hanging out waiting.
If Matt does something that was requiring a roll, I would like to assist in that role. So I guess I will follow.
Okay, you're pairing up with Matashtai and just trying to like. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also,
he's looking up. I'm looking down.
Ezra?
I'm looking all around.
I'm trying to not be a space case. And also waiting to be called if there's something that requires my limited expertise.
Okay.
What is a space? Does that mean is your ADHD acting up today, or what are you?
I have a 9 perception.
Oh, gotcha.
In this
That's
group,
fair. That's fair.
That is very garbage. So.
Oh yes, your ADHD is acting up today.
That's why I'm always like swatting mosquitoes
I think that's
or
Ezra has ADHD.
No, he's skittish. Fuck off.
ADHD. All right, got it.
Asperger's. I don't like this fucking Holabastion ass bitch music.
Sound like we're about to get jumped by the goddamn
That's
beast.
because we're probably
We are
about to get jumped.
We're absolutely about to fight a Dark Souls boss right now.
I don't know, Yerk wasn't that bad. He had a whole ass Hydra. How bad can this guy be?
You guys didn't have to fight the Hydra. You won in figuring out how to get around the Hydra.
Yeah, but the Hydra fought us.
For one round, it made 5 attacks, and it nearly took Ashes out and almost Matashtai as well.
That's what I'm saying. He had a whole ass Hydra.
All right. Matashtai, you come to this corner. And out of the darkness, there is a whirl of shadows and a flash of what looks like a snake's head.
Corbin.
And
I put my spear in between its mouth.
you are attacked, and Torbit is a stealthy son of a bitch and is going to attack you with advantage because of that.
I like how his token is just Torbit.
Yeah. They kind of shortchanged me on that one.
That's a rough one, honestly.
They do that a lot, I've noticed.
They do. That is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do.
There is a coalescing of shadows that bursts around from the corner, and as it does, you see this hunched, hooded figure, right, launch out of these shadows, a vaguely bullywug form, and in its hand, a very seemingly normal short sword that darts up and over your guard and into your chest as
It's gonna hurt.
as it procs assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it only rolled a 1 there. That's fine.
I don't know
And-
what that means, but it seems good.
Well, so assassination means it hits you in its surprise round, you're automatically crit. So it rolled a 1 for its extra damage die there, so that's good. Now we
There's
roll.
that sneak attack damage.
Now we roll a sneak attack. So that is incorrect.
0 damage.
Sneak attack once and sneak attack twice. So you take
God.
It's a
It's
bit
not
of
that
damage.
bad.
It's not that
30s
bad. That's a bit of damage.
37 slashing damage.
Okay. Yeah.
As
Take that.
Torbit jumps out from the shadows and stabs you in the chest. You see that kind of like, as you first took him in, you saw this flash, this almost like serpentine flash, and then you got stabbed by this short sword. And you don't really know what happened at first. It's such a blur. And then you see out from the hood, kind of like reaching out from Torbit, is this long serpentine neck. And it has lashed out at Ashes.
What the?
So is this guy half snake, half frog?
So
How the fuck were we
This
surprised when we
frog?
were all actively looking? That's amazing. He's amazing.
he rolled a 23 on his stealth.
He's
That'll do it.
amazing. That's an amazing.
I think you rolled it privately.
I did.
It's lower than my minimum self roll, but I'm just saying he's amazing.
That is
Fuck outta
an
here.
18 to hit Ashes.
Oh,
which I
18?
believe. Yeah.
Oh no, that misses.
Okay. So, you see this elongated serpentine neck with a snake's head on the end of it shoot out from under the hood, snap out at Ashes, miss, and then retract back into the hood itself. Okay? And I think that's probably it for his... No. He, you see, he disengages, pulls away from you, Matashtai, and then rears down.
Hold up. Take a moment.
Okay.
Disengage doesn't mean shit because I'm Sentinel.
Disengage doesn't mean shit because you're Sentinel. He does not know that.
Yeah, bitch.
So I'm going to smack him in the face, or
Okay.
at least attempt to.
Yeah.
Umbukari. Does a 23 hit?
Let's see. Does a 23 hit? Answer to that question is... yes.
Okay. I smick and I attempt to stun.
Okay.
So DC 15. Constitution saving throw.
Let's see. 15 Constitution saving throw. We have... trying to check. No, he does not.
Wait, hold up. Time out. I can't do this. I have not had a turn. I don't have a reaction.
Hada. Nice. Good memory. You can't do this. You haven't had a turn. You don't have a reaction. He disengages from you. He steps back. He springs up onto the wall, 20 feet up into the air, and holds there for a brief second. Actually, he doesn't hold there for a brief second. He just stays there. So he is now 20 feet up on the wall where he is. And I need everyone to click their tokens and roll for initiative, or select their tokens and roll for initiative.
A frog snake, Jay?
He's a frog snake.
Frog snake.
I don't think snakes can just hold on to perfectly vertical flat surfaces.
That's a
Yeah, that
high
guy can.
initiative.
That tracks. I'm trying to pay attention and I don't.
That's fair. Okay, I was hoping something along that was gonna happen. Cause he basically jumps up there, looks around, and then just springs off. And as he does, he just kind of like spiral flips over Matashtai and Ashes and lands next to Ezrah. Lands next to Ezrah slashes down with his short sword. So he won't have advantage anymore because he doesn't have the assassination, but he will just swing at you with his short sword. 22.
Damn, he wily.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
22. So he
Even
slashes
if I could
through
shield,
you.
that wouldn't be enough.
Right? He slashes through you. And as he does that, you see, again, this kind of like blur of motion, and that serpentine head shoots out the other side of the hood, and strikes at Ashes again, actually. A 27 this time.
Yeah, I guess that'll hit.
Okay, so that is 12 slashing and 3 acid damage. And as it hits you, it doesn't just like lash out and bite you. It lashes out and whirls around you and restrains you in place. And then the head bites at you repeatedly, right? So you are now grappled, and while you are grappled in this way, you are considered restrained. So that is, I think, the end of its turn. At the start of your turn, Ashes, while you are restrained by the serpent's coil, it bites you, and you take
What? Fucking stop.
4.
Ah!
Ah!
That is 4 slashing damage and 3 acid damage.
Wait, does your super amazing tiefling blood not prevent
It doesn't
acid
prevent
I was
acid
gonna
damage?
say, do you not like?
Oh shit! Matashtai,
Yeah,
you're
like,
up.
shut
Oh,
the
sorry,
acid
it's
out
not.
of
It's
you.
not. It's Ashes. Ashes, you're up.
I want to break
This guy
free.
is fast, by the way. This guy is
Okay.
real fast.
All right. What do I need to do to break free?
Hashtag jelly.
Athletics.
I want to break free. Yes, it is a athletics or acrobatics check. Your DC is
Athletics.
16.
Well, you know what I'm going to do first? I want to go ahead and use my bonus action, and I'm going to hybrid transform. So I'll be like,
You do see
struggling.
you so like the hood is kind of like covering the majority of his like features, but you do see this like twist as you transform, and Torbit like suddenly takes notice in like a ruh-roh kind of way.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm sitting. I'm like, and I start.
Nice.
Getting,
Okay.
like super aggressive, and that'll give me advantage on the roll.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which
There you go.
Which was not
Pretty
needed. So good job. All right, you were able to
He needed
pull
it,
yourself
bro.
free. So you basically just like throw off, like you just flex, and the snake body can't like hold you through. It kind of like loosens, and you're able to just like rip it off. And as soon as it like as soon as it's no longer grappling you, the whole head just kind of like just retracts back into the hood.
And I will, as the head's retracting, I'll start like chasing after it.
Sure.
And I'll, assuming this pillar isn't obscuring the way too bad, I'll park
You're
my
fine.
ass right here.
Yep, you're okay. All right, sounds good.
That'll be in turn.
All righty. Matashtai, you're up.
How big's this room? What's the ceiling at?
30 feet.
It's above you.
All right.
Idiot.
I run the 30 feet up this wall, sprint up it, and then I run across the ceiling, and I
You
throw myself
run across
off
the
the
ceiling,
ceiling.
and you're going across the ceiling on that mural, right? The mural that's barely existing anymore, and you actually go right across the part that looks like a multi-headed snake hydra, basically.
Damn, that's cool. All right, well, I coil up my legs and launch myself off of the ceiling.
Sounds like a plan.
At Torbit. I'm
Here.
gonna use my
Second.
DM inspiration on this one because fuck it, I'm just gonna use it.
Hell yeah.
And I think I technically had Tamakiri in my hand, so I'm gonna use Tamakiri.
Sounds like a plan. 17.
They are both a 17, I guess.
They are both a 17. You launch down, right? Just this blinding force, Tonbakiri piercing downwards towards your target. And right before it connects, you see his whole form just go, just like shimmer, and Tonbakiri just right through him. You miss.
Okay. I slam into the ground, making a small crater.
Water.
And then I slash up with Tamakiri,
Okay.
trying to catch him in the rebound.
All right. A 20 hits.
Okay. He takes 10 piercing damage, and I
Okay.
attempt to stun him.
Takes 10 piercing damage. Ah! That was not 10 piercing damage. That was 1 piercing damage. Takes another 9 piercing damage. You attempt to stun. He is...
Wow.
Stunned.
Oh, he about to have a bad day.
All right.
Okay.
He is stunned.
I am going to now start pummeling him. I have no concerns that I'm going to kill him yet, but like I'm going to do non-lethal as a heads up.
Sure.
Just trying to pummel him into submission.
Sounds like a plan.
So I'm going to flurry of blows.
Pummel
Bop,
him.
bop.
Okay, bop bop.
Ooh.
22 hits, the 15 doesn't, actually.
Yikes. 9 damage.
Another 9 damage. Okay. Somehow it's probably because he's like shrouded in this baggy like hood, right? And his form is kind of hunched and swaying. There seems to be some sort of like coalescing of the shadows around him as well, right? So like even though he is stunned, he's not just like a sitting duck. You do have some difficulty finding, like, it's not like you're like the 15, for example, still like you still touch him, right? But it's a grazing blow where you thought was going to be a solid impact. You kind of like shifts and your punch just kind of like pushes forward and loses its kind of like weight, you know, that type of scenario.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Nope.
No, I don't think I've got anything else.
Burns, you're up. Visity Burns.
That's me, Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns.
Alright, well, I just whip a dag at him.
You whipping
right in
dags.
his face. Invisibly.
Whipping
Directly past
dags.
Ezra's. Right past Ezra's face, too.
Fair enough.
This dagger.
Dig.
This dagger.
That's a hit.
Snake.
Okay. That's a snake.
And then I got an offhand. Offhand sharpshooter.
Okay.
15.
Is it 50?
Yes. No, he's stunned. I have advantage, yes.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Gotcha. Yep. 15 does not hit, though.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
If you were Soul Knife, you could do that damage without Sharpshooter.
True.
Yeah, Soul Knife's
A
incredibly
little busted. That's okay, though. All right. Ezra, it is your turn.
If I was Soul Knife, I could have turned that 15 into like a 19 or some bullshit. Because it's busted!
Okay, it's fun. Go ahead.
Being right next to this creature, does it seem to be magically enhanced, or it's stunned in front of me as I'm looking at it? Does it seem like it's enchanted, or like
it seems like it could be
happening?
it seems like it could be a lot of things. The shadows, like there's not just like shadow pouring out from it or anything like that, but the shadows of the room do kind of seem to try to pool around it, kind of like cling to it. You're not sure if that does seem somewhat magical, but you know, who knows? But the rest of the creature is kind of like obscured by this heavy cloak, covering the majority of the body. Like whenever it attacks out from the cloak, so you can't really see where its attacks are coming from. And now that it's stunned, it's basically just this cloaked figure with shadows about it. So that is your determination if you think that is magical or not. Short of actually using a spell to determine that, you know.
So he is currently stunned. I can see him stunned, so I'm gonna walk away from him.
Okay. A head lashes out from the hood. Torbit is stunned, but let's see how far you actually get here. Torbit is stunned, but there is something within that is not.
Jeremy said, you didn't fit my Hydra, so here's a mini Hydra.
Yeah, here's a mini Hydra.
The,
That serpentine head whirls out, coils around Ezra, and then strikes at his throat. You take 13 slashing and 1 acid. You are now grappled and restrained.
Say, goddamn, what's your deal, man?
He is stunned, so you don't get much of a response, but you hear just maniacal, crazed laughing. Hysterical laughing
Just
inside.
kill him, dude.
So I
It's absolutely
then,
Torbit Orochimaru.
as I get tangled by this entity, I then go ahead and point at Torbit, and I cast a spell magic.
Okay.
Yo, if extra snakehead's a spell, I want that spell immediately.
As you cast Dispel Magic upon the creature Torbit, there is a horrid kind of like shrieking that comes from not the creature but from upon the creature. Like it doesn't make the sound, right? But there is a surge of shadow that comes out and streaks over and down the serpent head to Ezrah. Ezrah, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Your DC is 27, I believe.
What
I
the
failed.
fuck? Why? Jesus.
Your
That's
mind is racked by nightmaric visions.
Fuck. Dendai,
As you just fucked with forces beyond your kin at this current point in time. So
Neat.
Yeah, you remember that fucking Ouroboros that you wanted to fuck around with on the
you
island?
take 21 psychic damage.
No.
And I need you to roll a 1d6.
On a 1 through 5, you die
Okay.
instantly.
I die instantly.
I need you to roll a 1d4.
I need you to roll a 1d2.
You lose 3 5th level spell slots.
Wow.
As
Rest
the
in peace.
nightmare visions from Dindar rack Ezra's body. You all hear him scream, kind of like involuntarily just scream, and you actually all see little pieces kind of like float out from his ears and his eyes. You see these little blobs of what look like almost kind of like silvery crackling light float up and out of his being and then just kind of like dissipate into the air.
And this was the last level Ezra had to spell magic.
Oh, it's a good thing. It's just not in this case. So, as that happens, though, right? Like,
Said every time I use this, I get hurt.
no,
Fuck
as that happens, right? The coalescing shadows, right, are now gone, right? They've dissipated. You've done something, but you have paid a price for it, basically.
Neat.
No good deed.
Anything else for your turn?
Nope. I am trapped.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it did not seem to dispel or do anything to the serpent's head. All right. Stunned until the end of his turn, right? Okay. Then he is done. He can do nothing. Now he is unstunned, and it is Ash's turn.
So, from where I'm standing, there's, Torbit, and then
there's
Torbit's
the
head.
snake that is wrapped around Ezra that is attached to Torbit.
Hey, I'm just gonna treat it like a log in the wood. I'm gonna split the log in half.
Let's see how it goes. Absolutely.
Let's see. Yep. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and use my bonus action to go ahead and write up.
Okay.
So here is 8. No, that's 5.
Okay. You take 5 damage.
We're going to throw on some thunder.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
And here comes the swinging.
Swang-a-lang.
Does a 23 hit?
Yeah, you connect with this serpent's neck, body, what have you, and you slice right through it like a hot knife through butter. There is a terrible shriek as the serpentine body around Ezra actually blackens and shrivels in an instant, and the snapping like head begins to kind of like and just kind of like falls off of you, Ezra. Ezra, you're now freed. Anything else, Ashes?
Yeah. So I'll swing down, chop in the water, drag Zalara out of the water, and swing up into the normal Torbit body.
Sounds good.
With
Is
attack. This will be an advantage.
because he's stunned. Yep.
He's not stunned anymore.
He's not stunned anymore.
Oh,
we are flanking.
You are flanking, though. Yeah, absolutely.
23
Yeah, that definitely hits.
for 16 damage,
Okay.
and that will be in turn.
Okay. Matashtai, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna become a whirlwind of spear as I swing and slash and bash this man.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and Hand of Harm on that crit.
Okay.
I'm assuming 28 also hits.
Yes. What's the damage on the crit?
The 20, 27, 36.
Okay. Torbit will use his reaction to uncanny dodge that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Kenny dodge. Woo!
Take 18 instead. And then, yeah, the 28 still hits.
Okay. 28 damage, 16.
Nice. Rolling good.
That was a good roll.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to stun him on that one.
Sure. Okay. Stern. He's stunned again. Cannot catch him.
Yeah.
Has a +8. Is not rolling for shit. My
That's
goodness.
much. And then slam into his serpentine body for 7 more damage.
Very nice. 7 more damage. Good shit. Okay.
What do I put on my stun list? What is he?
Torbit? He's a bullywug.
It's a
If you want to be
bullywug
specific,
servant of Dendar.
he is a bullywug assassin, is what he is.
Do you already have Bullywug on the list?
Avatar of Dendar.
I mean, by all means. Okay, Matashtai
Really?
is done. Bones, you're up.
Oh, it's me, Mario.
Mario.
It's me, Mario.
Right,
Okay. I will, I guess I will walk into him.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to go after and kill Ezra.
Okay.
And I'll do the slashing with the daggers.
Do the needful.
And he's stunned, so I get advantage. I don't know what button that is. Is that the correct button? It is the correct button.
That's a hit.
Snake attack.
That's a snake attack. Very nice.
Oh, that's sharpshooter. I can't do that up close.
Cannot.
But it would probably hit. It would do 1 damage though.
It would do 1 damage, though? Okay, 1 damage.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Offhand attack is
Okay.
1 damage.
Anything else?
That's all I can do.
Sounds good. Okie dokie. Ezra, it's your turn.
In a panic after one being caught by this snake fucker,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
having nightmare, and losing my 2 5th level spells that I was hoarding for
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
things got bad.
Yep.
I am immediately going to cast Mirror Image on myself.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Hey, you and Mossy. Proficient mirror image users.
Before I again attempt to step away from him.
The head strikes out at you again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No.
That's why I cast before I
As
walked.
the head seemingly has regenerated in the turn that has passed. But you do have mirror image up, so let's see how that goes. Ooh, it's a big miss anyways. I will
Really?
say
Wow, he has a plus 12.
Ay, 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 ay. Ashes or bones?
Hello.
Would one of you like to use your reactions to attack the serpent head?
Yeah, I definitely would like to do that.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh wait, hold on. I think I actually get to also do an attack at him that I
That no.
forgot to do last turn.
I think
Because
it has to be
he
within
attacked someone
5
else?
feet.
Yeah.
Do we both?
Yeah.
Well,
Did
so
you mean
so
or
Matashtai,
and?
Matashtai, you both can if you want to. You can use your actions, and then Matashtai, you can make an attack against. Yeah. Look, this technically wouldn't work this way, but I'll play it. Yeah, you can make an attack against Torbit, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Splish.
19 hits, 20 hits. So the snakehead surges out towards you, Ezra, and before it can go far enough to even reach you, both Bones and Ashes has swung down, chopping, and Bones has like skewered it through with Windspike, right? So there's this multiple like pincer of like the head is just decimated before it can even reach you. And when that happens, Matashtai turns and stabs Torbit with Tombakiri. Roll your damage.
Damage.
Okay. Cool. Continue, Ezra. Anything else for your turn?
Now, are we non-lethal so we can like interrogate this guy? Or are we saying fuck it?
That
evil?
was the plan until that is
I
proven
thought he
to
was-
be a bad plan.
Fucking really crazy. I thought we were just killing him.
Okay. All right.
He is touched by
The
Dengar.
normal
It might be
plan
better
as
to kill
normal.
him.
Anything else?
I have nothing else.
All right. It is
I can't believe he's still alive. Amazing.
I'm gonna
He's a god.
say that due to the multitude of attacks that you've done against Torbit, right? The multiple Tombakiris, the Zalara attacks, the Windspike attacks, etc. Right? Like you have cut through portions of the heavy cloak that he is wearing. You can see Torbit does not have the form of a bullywug necessarily. His body is misshapen, distorted, twisted, and there are strange objects all about his body. Little weird balls and fetishes, right, dangling from his
He got little
chest,
weird balls.
and you can see through the multitude of gashes that you've made in this cloak that the wounds you are dealing to him are healing rapidly.
Neat.
But he is stunned until the end of his turn. This is the end of his turn. It's now Ash's turn.
Set him on
Okay.
fire. That
All
only
right.
stops healing, right?
Give him the troll treatment.
Give him the old troll treatment.
All right. Here we go.
A 18 does not hit. You see Torbit no longer stunned. It's almost like he senses your strike and just woof, turns his body.
That's a 22.
22 does hit.
That'll be 25 damage.
He will use his reaction to have that.
His reaction
And,
wasn't just Nick hand.
Nope.
So
Well,
I'm gonna do something.
It's not his reaction, and
Okay.
it's been his turn since then.
Oh,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna do something that I haven't done, and I'm gonna try this, and I'm going to think of the times that I've used the brand of castigation, and usually it's been with my claws because I've always just used my claws to do so. It's the first time that I want to try to do so with Zalara, so I'll think about branding the target as I drag the sword across and cast the brand of castigation against Torbit.
Awesome. Okay, great. So you can see that kind of like cut across his body that you leave across his misshapen form, and it glows almost kind of like a reddish color for a moment, and then it goes kind of pearlescent, right? Like reminiscent of the kind of like moonlight scenario that you saw in Salune's realm, right? So it goes from that reddish color to that pearlescent color, and it just stays as like this pearlescent streak across his body.
And then with my bonus action, I will attack once more.
Okay.
Does a critical hit.
A critical hit hits.
Okay. Oh, well. So that'll be 30 damage total.
Okay, 30 damage total. Torbit is a tough individual, but Torbit is not prepared to survive against repeated stuns and the type of focus that you all are able to deliver as a group, right? You begin to cut and punch and stab into his form over and over again, and it's clear that something is going on here, right? Like he is regenerating a great deal in response to the damage that you are doing to him, but it's not enough, right? Ashes pushes past that mark, and Ashes, it's up to you whether this critical is a running him through, or whether it's like a just bashing him over the back of the head type situation.
Well, all right. So if I feel like this is going to be a fatal blow, and I go to swing, and I would like to feel Zalara's like feelings. What is she like?
Zalara is in battle. She hums, right? Like it's almost like she sings in your hand, not an audible tune to the people around you, but like it vibrates up your arm and in your thoughts, right? But she doesn't have battle lust, right? Like she is not she herself, period. You have never seen or felt her have anything resembling battle lust. She just appreciates a good fight,
Well, she might not, but I do, so I kill him.
Okay.
I'll with one strike, I'll put the brand, and then another strike will intersect, and so it'll be like kind of like I don't know, braver.
Okay.
Or not braver, cross slash.
You cut him down?
Yeah, I'll cut him down. Fuck
Okay.
him. Evil piece of shit. I don't give a shit.
As you cut through him, right, this second slash kind of like does it in for the cloak, and the cloak falls away as Torbit falls to his knees, and you see again, right, not the figure of a bullywug, perhaps what once was a bullywug, but instead you see this figure, distorted, twisted, bulbous, blackened, right? These little like sores covering his flesh, and he's belted. There's this kind of like almost girdle around his kind of girthy stomach, and it's filled with these various like little balls and pouches and things like that. And then across his neck, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, are these hanging, dangling, serpentine fetishes, right? What seem to be compiled of actual, like, snake bones and skin and fangs, but not the set of like a single snake, each one of this amalgamation, this hybrid, these various parts and pieces all twined together and pulled taut with wire into these weird fashioned figures. But that's not the thing that's really like draws your eye. What draws your eye as the hooded cloak falls away is the dagger plunged into the back of Torbit. You see spiraling out from it just these blackened tendrils across his back. And morphing slowly up out of the hilt of the dagger, you see the head of a snake regrowing. And it begins... Yeah, okay, so we'll go over that, right? Like, it begins to coil up and up and up as if it's regrowing and gonna strike again, and Ashes just, like, and lops the head off again, and you can see the flesh dies away from around the hilt of the dagger, and it just kind of, like, blackens and disintegrates. The dagger remains plunged into Torbit's back, but at this point Torbit slumps forward face first into the water that covers the temple floor here, dead. And in the heartbeats that follow, the blackened tendrils begin to pull out from across his back and back into the dagger itself. Whatever power given to the dagger or the snake head or whatever it was, seemingly gone, diminished with Torbit's death. And
that's scary.
That is where we will leave ourselves for this particular session. Torbit slain, but something about his person, some curse perhaps of Dendar, and these strange fetishes about his person, and then past you, past the nave, the door further into the temple. So, when next we meet, we will find out what is going on, perhaps with some of this stuff. And the party will have to break the news to the new generation that whatever they might have known, perhaps didn't seem to be there anymore. Bye-bye,
Who wants to
everybody.
touch the cursed dagger?
Next time on Dungeon of the Mad
Got
Mage.
Ezra's mage hand.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.